You're now listening to Hispanics Causing Panic, baby. Let's do this.
But right now, Hispanics are causing panic. Right now, Hispanics are causing panic. Yeah, Hispanics are causing panic.
And thanks to those joining us live and those that be joining us here on the archive, the style boxing here. Now, I'm sure you all have seen the news. I'm sure you read it. I'm sure you've seen it on X. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram, whatever, Facebook, whatever you use, right? I'm sure people have already talked about it. I haven't really had a chance to watch people's, videos lately, but I'm sure it's been talked about. I just thought, now that I have a moment, let me come on here and let me talk about this for a moment. Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, those has been announced. They're going to be having their rematch. As you know, the first fight last March, I was there, present when the fight happened. It was a bloody affair. I remember watching the fight. I was actually sitting right next to Liam Wilson, right? We're watching this fight. It's bloody. I remember the start of the third round wondering where all this blood came from. And just remember, it was just crazy. And it was a hell of a fight of their candidate, bloody. It was all the types of things. But I do remember the absolute how chaotic that fight was, and all the drama that came with it, all the criticisms that came with it. Tszyu's team got taken to the woodshed about it. There was calls to fire the cup man, for him to replace his team altogether. At Tszyu stayed the course. Ended up being a relatively terrible year for Tszyu. He ended up a couple months later suffering a very devastating loss against Mutazaliev. He's then, in my opinion, owned up to his losses. He owned up to his end of the bargain in terms of knowing that he made mistakes, knowing he has got to go back to drawing board, and he came back. He dominated Spencer, and now what people were expecting, the Keith Thurman fight, but it looks like that's not where it's going. That's what I would preferred, but that's not where Tszyu is going. Of course, Keith Thurman, just seems that fight's not meant to be. It was supposed to happen last year. Keith Thurman is injured. He's pulled out. Last minute replacement with Fundora, and now we are where we are, and we're talking about what we're talking about. And you look at the title, it says it all. And by the way, I want to thank everyone who tunes in. Look, I'm wearing my D-Style Boxing t-shirt. And if anybody wants to purchase it, the store is always in the bottom. Go ahead and get your D-Style Boxing tee. It helps support the channel. And we also have the Hispanic Causing Panic t-shirt, the old school one, and we'll be having the new merch out soon. So stay posted on that. Also, if you have any comments you want to make and agreements, disagreements, put them in the comment section, hit the like button, and share this on all your social media platforms. It's much appreciated. All right, now, it's titled Course Correction, right? I've been doing a lot of talking about this fight, and I own up on the shit I say, right? I own up to whatever it is I say, I own up to it, right? Whatever it is I say, I stand on it. I die on that hill. Because at the end of the day, all this is boxing talk. That's all it is. It's all opinion out here, ladies and gentlemen. And you know me, I don't ride the fence. I don't know, anything can happen. Because then why the fuck would you sit here and listen to me or anybody? They just tell you anything could happen and they don't give you an opinion about anything. Then what's the point? You want to know what D-Style Boxing thinks. You want to know what the people you watch think. And I don't have a crystal ball. So I can't actually look at the future. I am guessing just like anybody else. You could say it's an educated guess. I've been watching boxing for a very long time, and I have a very good batting average when it comes to predicting. What I'm going to tell you right now is that, as you see on the title, Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora, dose, course correction. What do I mean by that? Well, I do believe that the stars aligned for Sebastian Fundora late March last year. It's been 13 months. 13 months ago, Sebastian Fundora was a late replacement. Tszyu was going to fight a 5'8", 5'7" opponent with a completely different style. Last minute has to face a very tall, lanky opponent. Where Fundora was getting ready to fight like a Boachuk, who was more similar to size to Tszyu. And so therefore the sparring wasn't that big of a difference. Whereas Tszyu had to fly out, like I know, like Fox was one of them. There were some others that they had very limited sparring, very limited preparation. That's number one. Second, and he took the fight, so it is what it is. But second, shout out to Carlos M. That cut was very real. Accidental. I'm not here to say that Sebastian Fundora did it on purpose. I'm not here to say that Sebastian Fundora purposely hit him with the elbow, purposely cut Tszyu right down the middle just to blind him. And this piece of shit did it on purpose. That's not what I'm saying. It was totally accidental. I do believe it was an accidental hit with a forearm / elbow. Very bony, right? So it caused the cut. And the crimson mask occurred, right? Tszyu, and it was at the very end around 2. Tszyu was walking back to his corner, and he's looking down. He sees the blood trickling down. He's trying to find out what is happening. So there's the initial, like, kind of surprise about it while he goes back to the corner. They can't stop the bleeding because the cut, it hit an artery, and they literally couldn't stop it. Now, let's put aside, I get it, right? Oh, they should have stopped it. They should have stopped the fight. Tszyu's team, what were they thinking? They should have. Let's put that aside because we've talked about that to death. That is irrelevant here now. They're going to rematch. It's going to happen again. If it happens again, I agree. They should stop it immediately. Just take the no contest. Okay, let's put that aside. The fact is the cut was very real. They couldn't stop the cut. They couldn't stop the bleeding. I'm sorry. It's trickling down. It's flowing to the bridge of his nose, and it's falling on both eyes, the left and the right, blurring his vision completely. It turns out that in the sport of boxing, being able to see your opponent is very important But people wanted to pretend like it's not important. Oh, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't have mattered. Like, you're all dumb, the way I see it. Now, or you're acting dumb. Oh, better put that way. Because no one's that dumb. But you're acting dumb. But this is blood. Right? Blood stings. So not only is he losing blood, not only is it blocking his vision, crimson mask, it stings. So he's constantly he's going through the stinging of the blood. His vision is completely impaired, blurry sometimes to the point where he has to take a moment to wipe blood off both eyes with his glove constantly during the course of an entire fight for 10 rounds. To be more specific, he's wiping the blood off with his gloves. Tszyu is swiping. Think about how that takes time. It takes away from reading your opponent in front of you, trying to time them, trying to read their patterns. And if Sebastian Fundora is here, you wipe your blood and then he's here. Just think about all those factors. Be blurry vision. It's stinging. It's distracting. Just like these are very real consequences that he was suffering through, right? All due to a very real accident with a cut that was dropping blood on not one but two eyes, blood, blurry vision, stinging from the blood, having to take moments to wipe to the point where you have to wipe off the gloves so you can't see anymore, right? And even then, given all that, but Fundora had a broken nose with legal punches in the first 2 rounds when both guys were good, right? With no impairments. Yes, Tszyu broke his nose. And yes, I do believe that the bloody nose and Fundora not being able to breathe and later needing surgery, I do, like, from 2 rounds of damage, I do believe that's the only thing that helped Tszyu stay in that fight, because he was a blind man. The crimson mask, which they're using on the poster, both guys bloody. It was a bloody affair. I've been saying, and this is where I say I stand on my square. I've been saying, I'll continue to say that Tszyu was dominating the fight in the first round. He would have continued to do so and was on his way to stop Fundora because he already busted up his nose with a legal punch. He had the timing down when he could see, and he didn't have to wipe blood off his eye, which was blurring his vision and stinging his eyes. Before that, we saw what was happening even then, because I believe he was on his way to win a clearly, and he was on his way to stop Fundora. The same Fundora that was stopped by someone Tszyu already beat in Mendoza, right? The timing was down, and this was a limited preparation. Now, even then, even with his vision completely blocked, even him not being able to see half the time, having to wipe off the blood that was blurring his vision and stinging his eyes, even then, Fundora barely won a split decision. And Fundora hit Tszyu with his best shots and wasn't able to take him out even when he was a blind man. I will say right now, and guys, I'm not gonna, I understand that there's accusations of Fundora ducking, and we're gonna get to that, but right now I want to focus on the fight because that's the title of the video. We're gonna have time to talk about everything else on an HCP show during the week. I got you. But right now, this is what I'm talking about. All right. Given all that, guys, given the evidence in front of you, how many of you Because now the moment of truth has arrived. For all the dudes, it would not have mattered. I don't think that cut had any effect. It would have been the same fight. Okay, now, so stand on it now. I want to see those videos come out and say, I believe Fundora's going to win. Right? I want to see it. Let's see how let's see how the bookies feel. Let's see how the odd makers feel. Let's see how you really feel. Let's see how froggy you feel. Do the video. I want to see the people saying, it's not going to matter. Fundora's going to beat him again the same way. And he's going to prove that the cut had no effect. Because I don't believe blood in the eyes has any effect at all. I don't believe like getting blurry vision from blood to the point where it's completely blocking your vision, to the point where you have to wipe it off, to the point where we know blood stings, right? And not only that, losing constant blood, which has an effect on your stamina and everything, right? All that, like if you believe that had no effect, in my opinion, you're crazy. Or you just want to, it is what it is. You just don't like Tszyu and you just want to take that stance. It doesn't matter to me. But the moment of truth has arrived. And this will be course correction. I'm standing on that square. My narrative never changed. I told you the cut was the only reason Fundora was able to even be in that fight and win that fight by split decision. Great fight. He showed a lot of heart, but that's the only reason he was going to win. And I'm not changing my tune now. I'm telling you, Tim's going to win this rematch. Because ain't the stars going to line like that again for Fundora. Now Tim's going to have time to prepare. Now Tim's going to have a full camp with long, lanky guys, and he's going to be more prepared. Right? He already has a feeling for Fundora because he was fighting on blind and was still fighting home with some shots at times. Now he's not going to be blind. There's going to be no crimson mask this time. The difference between both situations, the busted nose of Fundora, Tszyu hit him with a legal punch, and he kept landing that punch. He had him timed, and we know that punch is going to keep landing. We know that. The likeliness of Fundora landing an accidental elbow, right, and cutting Tszyu right on the sweet spot, and the blood flowing down, like on both eyes like that, and the corner not stopping the fight, nobody stopping the fight. Like the likeliness of that happening are so low. We're not even worried about that happening again. That's not going to happen again. Now the moment of truth has arrived. Now you got to stand on your fucking square. Let your balls hang and tell me Fundora's going to win this fight. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see, I think Tszyu going to win, but I don't think the first time did it. We don't want none of that weak energy. Nando, shout out to you, brother. He says, Tszyu revenge tour begins. Look at that. You know what I mean? Okay. I am telling you guys right now, Tszyu's going to win this fight. No change of tone here. Nothing. I ain't changing nothing. The same shit I was saying after the fight, the same shit I've been saying, I'm going to keep saying it. And you know what you could do? You could either keep the same energy, not now that the fight's going to happen, or you could go a little silent. Silence of the lambs. You could go do that. Because I could whisper it to you. I could say it monotone to you. Tszyu's going to win this rematch. I could say it with energy for you. Tszyu's going to win this rematch without doubt. Like I've been saying. I said it before. If they fight again, I will favor Tszyu to destroy Sebastian Fundora. And I'm standing on that square now. No change in energy. Because I'm a same energy type of guy. All right? Nando says, who will PVC bait and switch opponent be this time? Jesus Ramos. Look, Jesus Ramos is definitely a much bigger threat to Tszyu. That is a much tougher fight. I'll just say that right now. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. Now, don't be shocked that Tszyu busts his nose again. He's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. The revenge tour begins. This is a course correction that's about to happen. And you know what? I think that whole time when I would bring up the fact that, hey, like, bro, he was like blind, he couldn't see. I think that whole time when people would like do the whole like, oh, he's a Tszyu fan. Hey, baby. Like I think the whole time a lot of you were so focused on just trolling or just being like the whole like no excuses. Sometimes there is valid excuses. Like the word excuse exists for a reason. Right? And Tszyu could say all day, oh, no excuse. But reality is you can do things the same way with a crimson mask. Okay? This is why it's dangerous to drive when you're crying, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's dangerous. Could you imagine driving with a crimson mask? Do you think you could do it from 10 miles away and not crash? If you constantly have blood falling in your eyes and stinging you, and you could, like, do you think you can do it? And if you could do it, how much slower are you going to drive? How much more, like you know what I mean? Like, how many times you're going to have to wipe your eye to make sure there's no traffic? How much slower is it going to take you? The estimated time of arrival, ETA. How much slower is it if you're driving home with a crimson mask? Do you think, take the most simplest things, running a 100-meter dash, like you don't think it's tougher to do it if you had a crimson mask? Now, by crimson mask, I mean blood falling on both eyes and covering your eyes, blurring your vision, and stinging your eyes. Could you do it? Imagine trying to run a 200-meter where you got to do the curve first. Could you stay between the lines and not step out of it and get disqualified? Could you do that if you had a crimson mask? If you give a running back in the NFL the ball, right, and he has a crimson blood falling in his eyes, right, is he going to average the same amount of yards that he usually does? Even if somebody misses the tackle, is he going to be aware, and how far is he going to get? If LeBron James had a crimson mask, right, is he going to average the same amount of points? Is he going to be as effective when he shoots or dunks or tries an alley-oop or plays defense? Is he going to play defense as effectively? Curry, could he? How many threes could Curry land if he had a crimson mask? Think of any other sport. For some reason, we can't. You can't use that for boxing. Why not? Use it for the most basic of. We don't even have to do sports, right? Could you sit down? Imagine trying to sit down and play a game of chess while you have a crimson mask constantly right there, and there's a timer, and you got to make a move. Like just try to do that. Try to do anything. Anything. The most basic, simple things. But we can't point out that a crimson mask is a professional boxer and Sebastian Fundora, and that played a factor. Can somebody explain to me why that's not a factor? In fact, the whole narrative behind why didn't, you know what's funny? Is that people get shitting on the corner of Tszyu, right? They should have stopped it. They should have stopped it. But in the same breath, oh, no excuses, no excuses. Look, maybe Tszyu can't make excuses because he kept wanting to fight. But me, as somebody predicting the rematch, I could utilize that information and I could utilize the reality of what happened. Right? I can use the reality of what happened and assess the situation. Just take anything, right? Imagine going fishing with a crimson mask. Imagine trying to do roofing with a crimson mask. Try to like guide traffic with a crimson mask. Besides being distracting to people who are looking, right? Just try to do it. Like there's nothing you can really do as effectively. It's going to impact you negatively in every facet of every way. I don't care if it's a walk around the block. Your walk around the block's going to be slower. It's going to take you more time. The chances of you falling and tripping have increased dramatically. When you're crossing the street, you're going to have to be a lot more careful. Your ETA is going to increase dramatically. Just to walk around the block with a crimson mask. Oh, but it had nothing to do. Fundora, it was a jab. The jab of Fundora. He's a great jabber. Fundora used his height with the jab. Well, he had a blind man in front of him. So, what I'm telling you is that now the time has come, right? Now, right? People are going back like Nando. They're going back to the corner fucked up. The corner fucked up. But nobody's picking Fundora to win the rematch now. How many are you going to pick Fundora to win? Not, it's 50-50. It could go either way. Like, no. How many are you going to say, no. That shit had no effect and Fundora's going to win the exact same way? How many of you are going to come out and say that? Is what I want to know. Let your balls hang. That's what I want to see. Let your balls hang. Right? How many are going to come out and be, no, it's going to be the exact same thing, because I don't believe that having a crimson mask has any effect. So what I'm telling you right now is that I don't even think it's going to be close. No, Nando. Like, what I'm going to tell you right now is I got Tszyu. Just like that. Do you have Fundora? Is Fundora going to win? Like, who do you think is going to win? I don't want to hear this could happen, or if it goes a distance. Like he's trying to straddle the bet here. Like he wants to like double up his odds. Like it goes a distance, or if Fundora wins, I win. Like no. Like what are we doing? If you got Fundora winning, you got Fundora winning. If I got Tszyu, I got Tszyu. We could bet it that way, right? But I'm waiting on the odds, though. I'm going to wait on the odds. I want to see what the odds are. I could look. Let me just tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. The odd makers will say it all. Let's tell you right now. The energy of people is going to say it all. Right? The same people have been saying, it had no effect. I want to hear them say that now. That's what I want to hear. I'm standing my square. Right? I'm standing my square. The same thing I was saying right after the fight. I think Tszyu beats him in a rematch. Given the circumstance, given what I saw, especially what I saw in the first round, I think Tszyu beats him in a rematch is what I said. Right? I think the blood definitely played a big role because it was covering both of his eyes. He had a crimson mask. Nando's saying I'm half-stepping, but Nando wants a strategy. He wants multiple options to win the bet. Right? I'm saying Tszyu's going to win. That's how you bet. Like, what do you mean? I got to, like, what? Do you, like, I'm just saying. I'm half-stepping. Nando thinks I'm over here, like, line dancing with a half-step. Right? Is what Nando's saying, but the reality is Nando wants multiple props, like to win the bet. Like Nando wants to win if it goes a distance. If Fundora wins, no matter how. And Nando probably wants to draw. He wants a disqualification. He probably wants a no contest. Like Nando probably like you know what I mean. Like if an alien falls from the sky, I win. Like this is crazy, bro. Like you know he wants every option available. Well, I'm not doing like here's the thing. Now, I'll do the $5 bet with Nando if it's straight up. Straight up. I got Tim. You got Fundora, right? I do believe Tim's just going to dominate. I think he's going to clearly win this fight. That's what I think. And you're all going to see. And all this energy I saw, like, no, it made no difference. Man, y'all weak, bro. Like, I've been waiting for those videos to pop up, and none of them have done videos about it. You know what I mean? I don't have time to watch them, but I'm looking over my subscriptions, and I don't see much on X about it, really. Oh, it's going to be the same result. Watch. Y'all know. You know clearly that cut had an effect. That's just the logical conclusion I have. Right? And I'm standing that square. My language hasn't changed. My energy hasn't changed. I'm standing on this hill. I'm willing to die on it. I'm standing on my analysis of what happened in that fight, which I think is common sense. But people seem to not think it's common sense. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Okay, well, stand on your square. This is going to be a course correction. Is what this is. And the course correction is starting right now. Right? If you believe that the Fundora, that when his opponents aren't cut and don't have blood flowing all over their eyes, right? That got knocked out by Mendoza is going to win this fight. Go ahead. Like if I just that's Everett Gomez, did I say blood isn't part of boxing? Am I on here saying, oh, blood isn't part of boxing, guys? I didn't say that. What I am saying is that my analysis is that it was accidental. I'm not saying Fundora did it on purpose. It was accidental. It landed on a perfect spot. It landed right on an artery. It flowed on both eyes. It was causing, I'm just saying it had an effect on what was about to happen in that fight is what I'm saying. And I think everyone knows I'm telling the truth. I'm not basing it on this Joey Spencer. I'm basing it on their fight. Fundora couldn't even stop him when the dude was blind, bro. So I know that's not going to happen. Right? Like, I know that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? There's a course correction time. Right? Ideally, I would have preferred him to maybe first fight Keith Thurman and then work his way from there, but that's not what they want. Right? That's not where they're going. Fair enough. But if you believe that the Fundora that Ocampo gave everything he could handle to, right? If you believe that Sebastian Fundora, he goes the distance against Ocampo, could have taken him out, right? Ocampo was giving him fits, right? If you think that Fundora is going to beat a Tszyu without the Crimson Mask, okay. I got some oceanfront property to sell you here in El Paso, if you believe that. Right? If you believe that the Fundora that got knocked out by Brian Mendoza can beat a non-blind Tszyu, then you believe that, right? If you believe that the guy that had another tough affair against Sergio Garcia, right? By all means. I ain't hating. That's your opinion. I'm just telling you right now, I think it's clear. It's as clear as where that the sun's going to rise and set. Tim's just going to win this fight. This is how clear I feel it's going to be. So I have more thoughts on the WBO situation. Xander Zayas, who I've had on this channel since he was 18 years old. I like Xander. I think we need to stop just handing belts to guys, but whatever. That's what they do nowadays. But what happened to the days where they got the number one guy, the number two guy, you guys fight, and then the winner of that fight becomes champion? Like, I don't understand what's happened to that, but whatever, right? But that's how I see it. So anybody who came in late, by the way, look, D-Style Boxing Tee, the store's always in the bottom. You guys can join the membership, only 99 cents a month. You get a lot of the political talk on there and on the archive, and some special posts I put out about the fighters we help out and stuff like that. You guys can check that out. And also make sure you subscribe if you like the content. Hit the bell button to get notifications, and share this video on your social media platforms. You know what I mean? And we definitely have a lot to talk about late in the week. I mean, we got the Friday night card, and of course Canelo's fighting, so we got to talk about that. I just wanted to get this one out of the way, right? I want to get this one out of the way. I'll try to do a show maybe tomorrow morning, if not Friday morning. See if I can get like a co-host and stuff. Calix is extremely busy. I talked to him earlier today. He's just busy at the moment. And he doesn't have a setup where he could do the podcast, but we're going to try to do. If not, I'll just do it solo. It is what it is. We'll get Nando's ass on camera so you can do the show with me or something. I don't know. Maybe Carlos M can do the show too. I don't know. You know, it is what it is. But I'm getting ready. It's a big weekend, guys. I'm enjoying. By the way, I don't know what the hell's going on. Is Bill Haney trying to fight Oscar De La Hoya? What? Like what the fuck is Bill Haney gonna do to Oscar De La Hoya, bro? Like it's, bro. Bill Haney talks way too much for a dude that, like, bro, your son fights. You don't fight. Like, he talks way too much shit, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, when he was talking shit to B-Hob, like he's gonna do something. He's gonna do nothing, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But I don't even know what that was about, though. I don't know why was the lawyer trying to get at Bill Haney. I don't even know. I gotta go look at what that's about. And I'll try to do a show tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning, stuff like that. So that is that. All right. This is D-Style Boxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out. Peace.
With his trainer, Eddie Reynoso, wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, representando a gran campeón, Saúl